So, how you doing, first of all?
Very well, sir. And you?
I'm doing great. I get to talk with you. Sniper is one of my favorite series, and you do such a great job in there as Brendan Beckett. I guess not many actors get to revisit a character as much as you have and redefine them every time.
I'll tell you what, there's no better business to be in as an actor than in the franchise business. Just ask Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
And I love the Sniper franchise. For those not familiar, it's a military action franchise for Sony Pictures. We've been doing it. I've been a part of it for the last 10 years, playing Brandon Beckett, the lead character. Always a blast, travel around the world, take the heads off of bad guys and live to fight another day. So yeah, they've been very good to me, and I'm very grateful to keep them going.
Do you like playing the heavy, or do you like playing more comedic roles?
I love the hero stuff. I grew up on G.I. Joe. So the more all-American soldier stuff I can get, I'm living the dream. But it is fun to reverse that and play the other side of things, because as me and you both know, villains are always justified. They're the heroes in their minds. So it's a lot of fun to try those roles on for size.
It's exactly right. And you've got a hell of a villain in Assailant. I'll tell you, Casper Van Diem just blows me away every time I see him too. He's such a nice guy, and yet, puts on that mask, as an actor. And I don't want to be around him. I honestly scared to death.
Well, you don't want to be trapped on an island with Casper Van Dien's character, having him harass and chase you around the darn place for a whole day. So, but I agree with you. I worked with Casper Van Dien, who's our lead antagonist in the movie Assailant. He did an amazing job. And Casper is another one of those guys where you don't get to see him put on the villain mask, as you say, very much. But he wore it, and he wore it very well. But as soon as you heard cut, nicest guy in the world.
Was this a joyful shoot? I mean, did you have a lot of fun doing this?
I had a blast. I really, look, we were all locked indoors because of the pandemic the year before. Last year, I got to go down to the Caribbean, of all places, to film this movie. So you can imagine I had an absolute blast getting away to a tropical location and filming a movie. It's kind of scratching all the itches for me. But it was fun. It's a beautiful island of Nevis down by St. Kitts in the Caribbean, right at the bottom there. And I'd never known it existed. But it was my home for about 3 or 4 months, and I fell in love with the place, and I hope I get to go back someday.
Real estate must be expensive down there.
I would think so. Yes, I would think so. Better to go there and live it up on someone else's dime. That'd be my recommendation.
Tell me about your cast. I mean, you've got such a great cast, and everybody seems to be spot on.
The cast really came together, and that's a credit to our producers at MSR Media and our director, Tom Payton, who's a wonderful British director. But we had Casper, obviously, in a complete reversal, playing the antagonist in this. And the role was a little bit outside the box for me, too. I'm so used to playing, very fortunate to play the good guy. However, this is a movie about a couple whose marriage is on the rocks, and that's mostly my fault. So, my character arc is you start off as a kind of unlikable D-bag, if I can say that on the air. And Poppy Delevingne, wonderful British actress, plays my wife. And so it's a story of survival. It's a story of redemption. It's a story of two people finding their way back together through extreme circumstances. And of course, we had Jeff Fahey, who's a wonderful character actor who's been in the business a long time. I'm a huge fan, and he just knocks it out of the park as our captain of our rented yacht on our honeymoon 2.0.
You've worked with Jeff before.
I had done a rom-com with Jeff, who was one of the leads of this rom-com just the month before, right down in Nevis again. And then later that summer, we were reunited to work on a military action, like horror movie called Dead Zone. So I got to work with Jeff 3 times last year after never having worked with him before that. So it was a total pleasure.
We'll talk about, the benefits just pouring in, because Jeff is also one of those actors that I think are so underestimated, and yet it's all in his eyes. I mean, he's just really, he's so present in what he does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got those baby blues, and he knows how to use them, and he's so talented and captivating to watch. He's one of those actors, and I'm sure you'll agree with me here. He doesn't have to do very much, and you're hooked.
Yeah.
And we were lucky to have him on Assailant. He knocked it out of the park like everybody else.
He's still Lawnmower Man in my mind. So
It's funny you say that because that's the first thing people were like, yeah, Jeff was amazing and Lost. I'm like, I watched every episode of Lost, but the Lawnmower Man, have you seen that? You know, that's my bread and butter for Jeff Fahey. That's my go-to when I think of that classic actor.
what do you think audiences are going to take away from Assailant?
Assailant is, at its heart, it's a suspense thriller, but it's set in the daytime. A lot of that stuff is set during the day, and the director, Tom Payton, kind of flipped it on its head. It's a bit of a chase movie. It's a bit of an action movie. I think that whereas you may not be such a fan of the couple and the way that they have their difficulties, by the end, you're really rooting for them because it is a lesson in fix the problems when they're small and don't let them get out of control and then invite the world into your problems because someone might just make you pay for it. And that's Casper Van Dien's Michael, and pay for it in a very brutal way. So it's fun. If you like a little action, if you like a little suspense, a thriller, and set against a beautiful tropical backdrop, it's a really fun ride. And I think people are really going to dig it.
And Poppy is such a deep actress as well. I mean, she's stunning in this role.
The one thing about Poppy is, beautiful runway model, actress, all the things. This was a gritty movie, and I've done gritty movies before, right? And we're covered in sweat, and that sweat's real. It's hot. It's a tropical island. We're running up and down hills and trails and everything in basically a rainforest setting. She was such a gamer. Like every single day she showed up and gave it her all. And, that's very different than the London high life. And I gave all the credit in the world to Poppy. She just really dug in, was not afraid to get dirty, and just look natural and just get more disheveled as the movie went. So she really crushed it performance-wise, effort-wise, and just such a lovely human being to work aside.
Chad, in our final moments, I love the fact that whenever there's a physical movie that comes up, you lean into it. I mean, you really take it seriously. I know that you're a martial arts expert. You've trained people in martial arts, but this role was kind of a different physicality.
Yeah, usually I'm the guy throwing the punches. Let's just say I eat a lot of punches this movie, thanks to Casper, and kicks and headbutts and all sorts of other brutal things. So, but it was a lot of fun. And, Casper couldn't have been a better dance partner in terms of the choreography and everything else. But yeah, I spent most of this movie kind of running for my life and getting my butt handed to me. Which is a bit of a role reversal since I'm used to, dishing out punishment and justice. So it was a lot of fun for me to be on the flip side of it and to be more vulnerable with the action and stuff like that. So it was a really great experience for me all around.
Thank you, my friend, for the time. I love the Warzone poster in the background.
Got to represent the Call of Duty. Well, hold on. How does the Zoom work? Okay. Yeah, I got to represent the Call of Duty. Call of Duty Modern Warfare, my character, Alex, I play it all the time on Twitch. They sent me that wonderful poster and I got to show it off.
All my kids grew up with you on Call of Duty. So you're just always busy. So that's good. That's a good thing.
As an actor, that's all we can do is push ahead to the next job. So I'm grateful for the opportunities I've had and hopefully we keep it going.
Thank you, my friend. And you take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.